Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here. We're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of April 14th, 2022. The current character challenge is Batman Beyond Animated, or Animated Batman Beyond as I like to say it, even though that's technically not the order that it shows up in the store. And that's a 1 week repeat. And the required characters for that are Harley Quinn, Bane, and Joker, who are bronze, silver, and silver respectively, if you're looking at the lowest tier, that you can get each of them. His passive is Winning Edge, which is upon special attack use, Batman receives a boost for a limited time. 1 is Explosive Batarang, increases basic damage. 2, Future Bat raises crit chance. And 3, the Dark Knight increases crit damage. He's got 1,100 attack and 1,050 health. He was last available on the 17th of June, 2021.
Yeah. So for a challenge character, he's actually got pretty low stats.
Yeah.
But this was the way it was, and at one point he had pretty high stats. Didn't last long, though. So interesting, the passive, and it doesn't tell you enough to really judge. So the order that you read them out in is actually the order of the specials. So
yeah, and that's the name of the specials if that didn't cue for you. Explosive Batarang,
yeah.
Future Bat, and the Dark Knight is the name of the special 1, 2, and 3.
Right, in that order. So special 1, what it does, it increases basic damage. There's a 100% boost for 8 seconds. Raising crit chance is 50% boost to crit chance for 10 seconds. And that's sort of a magic number, actually, because you can max augment somebody up to 50%, and you can get the rest of the 50% on his special 2.
Yeah.
And the Dark Knight increases crit damage. That's a 50% crit damage boost for 15 seconds. So each one gets successively longer, although it's arguable about which one is the best ability that you get. What I really like about him is his special can knock out more than one opponent, and I've seen people...
His special 2 specifically, right?
Yeah, his special 2, sorry. That when you set it up properly, sometimes you can finish off all 3 opponents with one special 2.
Yeah.
So I think he might be one of the fastest. If you want to finish a fight and set like a record time, that might be the fastest if everything lines up properly. And I guess the main problem with him is not just that his stats are low, because I don't play with him nearly as much as I think would be justified, given he's got a really interesting passive. The problem is that his passives are all replaceable by gear. You can do all those same things with gears, and what limits his passive is the time.
Yeah.
So it's hard to strategize something which is so time limited, and where generating power takes so much time, and you spend it and then it's all gone. And I think, as I think about him more, like as he's come over and over again, and we do this more and more, I've thought about putting him on a Justice League team, and it would help the most actually, where New 52 Wonder Woman isn't that strong. Like, she's not maxed out too much, which we've got on this account, where she's Elite 5, where him on Elite 7 or maybe even up to Elite 10 would be balancing, because otherwise what happens is you have New 52 Wonder Woman giving him power, but then he's still too weak to actually do any damage when she's giving him power. And it doesn't make sense to load him up with all the power generation gear, because it makes your overall team weaker when he's the only person who's generating power, when there's the possibility of having Wonder Woman help everybody.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so then the interesting thing is, once you've got power, what do you do? So here's that kind of opportunity cost. You can focus on Special 1 or Special 2. If you focus on Special 1, 2 bars of power, for example, you get 100% boost and another 100% boost, 200% boost. That seems like it's better use of your 2 bars of power than a 50% boost of crit chance for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
The problem is, you don't get the full 8 seconds. Even if you do 1, you spend part of your 8 seconds doing your Special 1 again, and then you've got maybe 4 seconds left
Of the full, and then another 4 seconds of 100% boost,
Right.
and then back to nothing.
Or you could get 10 seconds of basically the chance of 100% crit chance without using any of your gears.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. We can get 50% boost in the crit chance with basic damage. We can boost basic damage with gears pretty easily, but it's all a numbers game, right? Because it still takes up gear slots.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's tough. It's whatever you're doing, you really have to. I think these are the kinds of situations that informed our decision to have teams where the damage output is as fast as possible, because not only does it finish fights quickly, but in the cases like this, where your passive, your benefits don't last very long, you really need to do that, or all of a sudden, if you don't finish them quickly, then you're really stuck and you're grinding a lot harder than you need to. Yeah.
So it's a lot of planning, and it's not as much payoff as you would hope for,
Right.
If the numbers were bigger, if it lasted longer, maybe it's easier to work around, but as is, it's kind of a hard choice no matter what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah. So we've had 2 complete runs of a 43-week challenge cycle. It first appeared in May of 2020. This is the 3rd cycle. So that's 99 weeks in total, 13 weeks into that 3rd cycle. Next week, we expect to see Raven Prime.
Almost 2 years, man.
That's true, yeah. We're just a couple weeks off that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This week's multiplayer reward is Flashpoint Deathstroke, and his passive is Pirate Crew, which is Deathstroke has a chance on special attacks to be assisted by Flashpoint teammates. The more Flashpoint characters, the more attacks he gets on his combo ender. That he comes with 1,240 attack and 1,360 health. He was last available on the 9th of September 2021. So we have 2 complete cycles here of a 31 reward sequence. We are 5th in our 3rd cycle, which is 67 weeks in a row of a consistent pattern. Next week, we expect to see the Batmobile.
Right. He's got good stats. There's your comparison, right? 1240 and 1360 instead of what?
1,100 and 1050.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant difference. And you don't need to know much. I mean, the fact that he's Flashpoint makes him one of the best cards, because you can take advantage of Batman's team boost, where the crit damage is way more boosted than 50%. It doubles your crit damage, basically. Yeah. And doesn't even take up a passive. It's Batman's passive. You know what I mean? Like, it's Flashpoint just gets to have that from being on the same team. You could gear him to be your basic damage specialist with all the extra combo ender hits that he gets out of his passive, but you also get a huge benefit if you make him your special specialist. His special one becomes deadly enough to knock out most opponents, even if they have a revive. So he just does so much damage that he doesn't matter if you revive. So, and because his multi-hit special one, you don't have to worry about having compartmentalized health that you get when with, say, 4th World Gear set, Blackest Night team. And then you add League of Assassin's Knives for splash damage. He is totally like an engine of destruction. Main weakness or main problem is facing someone with Astral Harness. Because it's multi-hits, very likely you're going to trigger their invulnerability. And but that's true with, I think, any team, unless you have somebody who does a really massive one-hit special. Yeah. Tentu Totem, though, can help you wait it out. And if you tag in and do the loadout like we like to use, where it's Tentu Totem and Master's Death Cart, 2nd bar power saves you. You can just keep on doing that over and over again until the invulnerability is over. Bit of a waste of time. And the sort of problem with that strategy, the one vulnerability on that, is that you're generating power for the opponent if they don't block while they're invulnerable. Yeah. And the other, it's not really even a weakness specific to Deathstroke. Against the Red Sun Green Lantern team, you've got a huge advantage from Flashpoint Batman's boosted crit damage. You lose all of it against a Red Sun team. So the difference between facing a Red Sun Green Lantern team and not facing them is huge, and it's bigger than for any other team. But even then, when you're facing it, they're not any more weaker against them than other teams would be. I don't think. Yeah.
It's the kind of thing where it's going to be a hit no matter what, and you've just got a little bit more invested into that crit damage.
That's right.
Yeah. So there we go. In the store, we've got the Rebirth Raven challenge pack for 200,000 credits. So this is like a slight conflict with the expected schedule, right? Because it's Rebirth Raven, where we're expecting just regular Raven.
But there is no Raven. There's never been a Raven challenge pack.
Yeah, there's never been a Raven Prime. And this has happened before, the week before Raven's Prime's challenge before. So this is,
before.
Like but the last time we had a Raven Prime, the same thing happened.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So,
and she is Rebirth Raven, still part of the challenge schedule. It's just that she's going to be in another 18 weeks, which is going to be land sometime in August. So she's in the schedule, just usually not when this part of the schedule.
Yeah, and to remind people, it gives you the 6.16% chance of getting the specific character instead of the normal 2.86%.
Right.
And it's not worth it unless this is the only character you want. It's like slightly more worth it than it normally is because it's not about to be in the store next week, but it's still not a good deal from a pure like numbers standpoint.
Right.
We also have the character bundle Suicide Squad in the store. That is for $24.99, all prices in Canadian as always. We've seen it 2 times in 2021. We saw it once in 2020.
Oh, 2020 was deal,
but it was cheaper. Yeah, it was $18.99. Yeah. And so that comes with Suicide Squad Harley Quinn and Suicide Squad Joker. You get 2 random gears out of 5. And so the 5 are 2 signature gears, which each have a 35% chance of getting them. And then the 3 Suicide Squad companion gears, which you have a 10% chance each of getting them.
Which normally it would cost you last laugh tickets. So it feels like it's almost worth it, but it's still only a 30% chance you'll get something more interesting than the...
We say almost worth it as in almost something that you would want, right? You might theoretically be willing to fork over money for, but for the price, I would still say it's not close to being worth it for us personally anyways.
Right.
Yeah. We also have the Survivor pack. For the 14th week, our Bleed Out pack is there for its 2nd week. The Character Bundle Batman Universe pack, which has been around for 19 weeks. The Most Wanted pack, which has been around for 26 weeks
6 months, half a year.
That's true. Wow. And the Celebration packs, the 300 Nth Metal packs that it used to rotate through Joker, Aquaman, and Shazam, has now been 12 weeks of them all being available, with Aquaman having been around for an extra 2 weeks.
Right.
When it was just him.
That's some party.
Yeah. So in our Survivor, we have the Fourth World gear set until the 20th of April 2022. Phantom Zone is back for 2 more weeks. Fight 62 is still broken. We've got bonus XP for what we're assuming is the Easter long weekend.
Well, it is the Easter long weekend.
Well, it is, yeah, but we're assuming that's why, because they don't tell us why the bonus XP is around.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So last weekend's breakthrough was, as we expected, Deadshot, Wonder Woman, and Static. This coming weekend is probably going to be Zatanna, Flash, and Solomon Grundy. Link in the description to a thread in the Injustice subreddit started by one of the mods, Devlin16, has a complete list there.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes us, this is basically the end, because we've decided that we're going to just do the recap of the glitches when there's something new or once a month. Mm-hmm. And that once a month was
last week on the 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only thing you really need to know is that we've confirmed the challenge reset glitch on this week's challenge.
Mm-hmm.
With animated Batman Beyond.
And there we go. That's it for the content this week. We'd also like to give a huge thank you to our wonderful supporters on Patreon. So that is BomboBen, Console Peasant, and Edwoon at the top tier Last Word, Sinemac and Mohammed Albshaiti at the Your Message Here tier, Shawn, Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, Michael DeVries, Brandon C., Irvin Ruiz, Eddydoo, and Hoshi127 who are supporting us on the credited level, and Chris Wolff, Scarlet, Dani, Awesomegamer241, Pavu RS, Gavin, Mallott, and Isfar E at the gratitude level. Thanks so much for your support, and we'll see you next time. Komoda.